You know that feeling when your whole world turns upside down in a single moment? When you walk through your own front door and suddenly you're the stranger in your own life. That happened to me 5 weeks ago, and I still can't believe the audacity of what I walked into. My name's Vanessa, I'm 30 years old, and 5 weeks ago I came home early from a work trip to find a woman I'd never met sitting at my dining table, eating the steak I'd been marinating for 2 days, drinking my wine, while my boyfriend of 2 years packed my clothes into garbage bags. Yeah, you read that right. Let me tell you this story from the beginning, because the details matter. Every single infuriating detail. I'd been dating Connor for 2 years. We met through mutual friends. He was charming, attentive, seemed stable. Worked in IT making decent money, around $70,000. I'm a marketing consultant, making about $85,000. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable. After a year of dating, Connor suggested we move in together. I own a nice 2-bedroom condo downtown that I bought 3 years earlier. He was renting a studio across town. Why don't I move in with you? He suggested. We can split expenses. It makes financial sense. I love the idea. Living together felt like the next natural step. We were serious. We talked about marriage, kids someday, a future. So Connor moved in. We agreed he'd pay half the mortgage, half the utilities, half the groceries. Equal partners. Except it didn't quite work out that way. Connor's half of the mortgage was always late. Cash flow issue, he'd say. I'll catch up next month. His half of utilities. Can you cover it this month? I'm waiting on a bonus. Groceries? I'm a little short. Mind grabbing them this week? Over 2 years, I calculated that Connor had probably contributed about 30% of what he should have. I was covering most of our living expenses while he did what exactly? I'm not sure. He worked from home. Said he was working. But I'd come home and find him playing video games or watching TV. When I brought it up, he'd get defensive. I'm stressed. I needed a break. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. So I backed off. Because I loved him. And relationships are about supporting each other, right? I was supporting him all right. But I had no idea what he was planning behind my back. And the steak. Oh, that steak is important. Keep that in mind. Let me tell you about the steak. I'm a good cook. I love cooking. One of my favorite things to make is this rosemary garlic ribeye that I marinate for 48 hours. It's incredible. Melt in your mouth delicious. I bought 2 beautiful ribeyes on Monday. Put them in the marinade. Told Connor I was making them for dinner Wednesday when I got back from my work trip. Can't wait, babe, he'd said. Sounds amazing. I left Tuesday morning for what was supposed to be a 2-day trip to Chicago. Marketing conference. Important clients. I'd be back Wednesday evening. Connor kissed me goodbye. Have a safe trip. I'll miss you. Miss you too. See you Wednesday. The conference ended early. The last panel got canceled. So instead of flying back Wednesday evening, I caught a Tuesday afternoon flight. I'd be home by 7 p.m. instead of Thursday morning. I texted Connor. Conference ended early. Catching an earlier flight. Home by 7 tonight. He didn't respond, which was weird, but I figured he was busy with work. I landed at 6:30 p.m. Got home by 7:15 p.m. Walked up to my condo that I owned, that I paid the mortgage on. Put my key in the lock, opened the door, and froze. There was a woman sitting at my dining table. Mid-20s, blonde, wearing yoga pants and a tank top, eating a steak. My steak. The ribeye I'd been marinating for 2 days. She had a glass of wine. My wine. The good Malbec I'd been saving. She looked up when I walked in. Oh. Hi. Just. Hi. Like she was supposed to be there. I stood there, suitcase in hand, trying to process what I was seeing. Who are you? I managed to say. I'm Becca. Who are you? Who am I? I live here. This is MY apartment. Who the hell are you? Before she could answer, I heard noise from the bedroom. I walked back there, heart pounding. Connor was in my bedroom. My bedroom. Pulling clothes out of my closet, throwing them into black garbage bags. I stood there watching my boyfriend pack my clothes into trash bags. But what he said next, that's when I realized this wasn't just cheating. This was a calculated plan. Connor, what are you doing? He spun around. His face went white. Vanessa, you're home early. Yeah. I texted you. Why are you packing my clothes? He ran his hand through his hair. Looked panicked. Okay, this isn't how I wanted to do this. Do what? Connor, there's a strange woman eating my steak in my dining room and you're packing my clothes. What the hell is going on? That's Becca. She's my girlfriend. I actually laughed. Your girlfriend? I'm your girlfriend. You were my girlfriend. Becca and I have been together for 6 months. And we're moving in together. Here. The room started spinning. Here? This is my condo. Actually, we've been living together for 6 months. I own half of it now. What are you talking about? You don't own any of it. I've been paying rent for 2 years. That gives me tenant rights. And Becca's moving in. So you need to move out. I couldn't breathe. You're kicking me out of my own home? The home I bought? That you moved into? It's not just your home anymore. I live here too. And I'm asking you to leave. Asking me to. Connor, are you insane? This is my condo. My name is on the deed. I pay the down payment. I pay the mortgage. And I pay rent, which means I have rights. My lawyer confirmed it. Your lawyer? My voice was getting louder. You got a lawyer to help you steal my home? I'm not stealing anything. I'm exercising my legal rights as a tenant. And Becca is moving in as my girlfriend. If you don't leave voluntarily, I'll have to pursue a formal eviction. I stared at him. This man I'd loved for 2 years. This man I'd supported financially and emotionally. This man who was now trying to steal my home. You're out of your mind if you think this is going to work, I said. Actually, it's already working. Becca's been living here for 3 weeks while you've been working late and traveling. We've established residency. You can't just kick us out. Wait, she'd been living there for 3 weeks. While I was working late and traveling to support U.S. financially. Oh, it gets so much worse. Because what I found in my office. I walked out of the bedroom. Went to my home office. My laptop was gone. My files were rearranged. There was a makeup bag on my desk that wasn't mine. I went to the bathroom. Her toiletries were in my medicine cabinet. Her toothbrush was next to mine. No, wait. Mine was gone. Just hers. I went to the kitchen. Becca was still sitting there, cutting into my steak. You've got some nerve, I said to her. She shrugged. Connor said you'd be okay with this. That you guys had broken up months ago, and you were just figuring out the logistics. We didn't break up. I saw him this morning when I left for my trip. He kissed me goodbye. She looked uncomfortable. Well, he told me. I don't care what he told you. This is my home, and you need to leave. Now. Connor said I could stay. Connor doesn't own this place. I do. And I'm telling you to get out. Okay, stop. I need to know. What would you do in this moment? Drop a comment and tell me, would you call the police? Throw them out. What's your move? And where are you watching from? Connor came out of the bedroom. Vanessa, you're being unreasonable. I'm being unreasonable? You moved another woman into my home. You're packing my clothes. You're trying to kick me out of a condo I own. You need to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. Get her out of my house. Now. She's not leaving. We're together. This is our home now. It's my home. And if you don't get her out in the next 5 minutes, I'm calling the police. Connor crossed his arms. Go ahead. Call them. They'll tell you the same thing my lawyer did. I'm a tenant. I have rights. You can't just force me out. So I called the police. 2 officers showed up 20 minutes later. I explained the situation. Showed them the deed to my condo with only my name on it. Explained that Connor was my boyfriend who I'd allowed to move in, and that he brought another woman into my home without my permission. The officers looked uncomfortable. Ma'am, this is a civil matter, one of them said. If he's been living here and paying rent, he has tenant rights. You'd need to go through a formal eviction process. Even though I own the place, even though you own it, you can't just force him out. You'd need to give 30 days notice and follow proper eviction procedures. And her, I pointed at Becca. She's not on any lease. She doesn't pay rent. Is she a guest of the tenant? The officer asked Connor. She's my girlfriend. She's staying with me. The officer turned to me. Then she's allowed to be here as his guest. I wanted to scream. So I have to leave my own home while they stay? You don't have to leave, ma'am. But you can't force them out without going through legal channels. Our suggestion? Contact a lawyer first thing tomorrow. Sort this out in court. They left. And I stood there in my own home, feeling like a stranger. Becca went back to eating my steak. Connor went back to packing my clothes. I called my best friend, Leah. I need a place to stay tonight. What happened? I told her everything. She was horrified. Come stay with me. Right now. And first thing tomorrow, we're calling my lawyer friend. We're going to bury him. I grabbed essentials, laptop, important documents, some clothes that Connor hadn't already bagged up. Took one last look at my home. Becca was pouring herself more of my wine. Connor was hanging his clothes in my closet. And I left. Because what else could I do? I stayed at Leah's that night. But the next morning, I made some calls. And what my lawyer told me changed everything. Because Connor had made one critical mistake. My lawyer's name was Patricia. She listened to my whole story, took notes, and then smiled. He's an idiot, she said. What? Connor. He's an idiot. His lawyer either doesn't exist or gave him terrible advice. Here's the thing. Yes, he's a tenant. Yes, you have to evict him properly. But you can make his life absolutely miserable in the meantime. Legally. And here's the kicker. Becca has no rights. None. She's not a tenant. She's not on any agreement. She's just some random woman he brought in. You can absolutely have her removed. Today. Really? Really? Let me make some calls. 2 hours later, I was back at my condo with Patricia and a sheriff's deputy. I knocked on my own door. Connor answered. Vanessa. What? This is my lawyer, Patricia. And this is Deputy Harris. Becca needs to leave. Now. Becca appeared behind Connor. Connor said I could stay. Connor doesn't have the authority to grant you tenancy, Patricia said calmly. He's a tenant. You're not. You're trespassing. You have 10 minutes to collect your belongings and leave, or you'll be arrested. Connor. Becca looked panicked. Connor tried to argue. She's my guest. Guests don't move in, Patricia interrupted. Guests visit. She's been living here for 3 weeks. That's not a visit. That's an attempted illegal tenancy. 10 minutes. Becca packed her stuff and left. She was crying. Connor was furious. But she left. Then Patricia turned to Connor. Now let's talk about you. Yes, you're a tenant. Yes, Vanessa has to formally evict you. But here's what's going to happen starting today. She handed him a document. This is a formal 30-day eviction notice. You have 30 days to vacate. During that time, you will pay your full share of expenses, which, according to Vanessa's records, you haven't been doing. You owe approximately $18,000 in back payments for mortgage, utilities, and groceries over the past 2 years. Connor's face went white. I don't have $18,000. Then you'll be sued for it. Additionally, you will not bring any guests into this property. You will not damage any property. You will not interfere with Vanessa's use of her own home. If you violate any of these terms, we'll pursue immediate eviction and criminal charges. Do you understand? He didn't answer. Do you understand? Patricia repeated. Yes, he muttered. Good. Vanessa will be moving back in today. I suggest you stay out of her way. And I move back in. That afternoon, with Leah's help, Connor stayed in the guest bedroom. Barely spoke to me. Spent most of his time on the phone, probably with his lawyer. The 30 days were the most uncomfortable of my life. Living in my own home with a man who betrayed me, who tried to steal my home, who'd moved another woman in while I was away. But I survived. And on day 30, the sheriff's deputy came back. Mr. Connor Wells, you have 2 hours to vacate the premises, or you will be forcibly removed. Connor packed his stuff. No garbage bags for him. He used actual suitcases. He didn't say goodbye. Didn't apologize. Just left. And my home was mine again. But the story doesn't end there. Because 3 weeks after Connor moved out, I got the most satisfying phone call. And what I learned made everything make sense. The call was from Becca. Vanessa, this is Becca. From the thing with Connor. I remember you. You ate my steak. She actually laughed bitterly. Yeah, about that. I need to apologize. And I need to tell you something. I'm listening. Connor lied to me. About everything. He told me you guys had broken up months ago. That you were just roommates waiting for the lease to end. That you'd agreed he could move someone in. None of that was true. I know that now. But I believed him. He was so convincing. And then when you came home early and I saw your reaction, I realized I'd been played. Where is he now? Living with his parents. Turns out he lost his job 3 months ago and has been lying about that too. He was using me to help cover expenses while he figured out his next move. He was using both of us. Yeah, and here's the thing, I'm not the first. I did some digging. He's done this before, with at least 2 other women. Moves in, stops paying his share, brings in someone new, tries to push out the original girlfriend. It's his pattern. I felt sick. Are you serious? Completely. I contacted one of his exes. She went through almost the exact same thing. He tried to claim tenant rights to her apartment. She had to evict him too. So Connor wasn't just a cheater. He was a con artist, using women for housing, financial support, then trying to push them out and take over their homes. Thank you for telling me, I said. Thank you for getting me out. He was already starting to control me, telling me what to wear, who I could see. I dodged a bullet. We both did. After that call, I did some more digging. Found 2 more women Connor had done this to. We actually had a group chat now, the Connor Survivors Club, we call it. All of us had similar stories. All of us had lost money to him. All of us had to evict him from our own homes. One of the women sued him in small claims court for the money he owed. 1. He still hasn't paid. 4 weeks ago, almost a month after Connor left, I changed every lock in my condo. Deep cleaned every room. Bought new sheets, new towels, erased every trace of him. Had a fresh start party with Leah and my other friends. Made ribeye steaks with that rosemary garlic marinade, the one Connor and Becca had eaten. This time I got to enjoy them. And you know what? They were delicious. Here's what I learned from all this. Pay attention to financial red flags. If someone consistently can't pay their share, it's not bad luck. It's a pattern. When someone shows you who they are through their actions, believe them. Connor showed me for 2 years that he couldn't be relied on financially. I ignored it. And most importantly, protect what's yours. Your home, your money, your peace. Don't let anyone take advantage of your kindness. I came home early from a trip and found a strange woman eating my steak while my boyfriend packed my clothes. He tried to steal my home, tried to kick me out of a condo I owned. But I fought back, got a lawyer, followed the law, and reclaimed what was mine. Connor's living with his parents now, probably looking for his next victim. Becca escaped and learned her lesson. And me, I'm living in my beautiful condo, alone, peaceful, free. I'm Vanessa. I'm 30 years old, and I own my home, all of it. Nobody's taking that from me ever again.